I'm Sarah Height from Ecumenical Theological Seminary on Woodward, where Bill teaches occasionally. We also have many members of the Baptist Council on our faculty and quite a number of Baptist students. We also educate Presbyterians and Lutherans and Methodists and just about anybody. In fact, we're starting a program next fall for Muslims. I am very supportive of your statement that the seminaries need to be involved in this. I think that if you would like for there to be ecumenical work and younger faces here, people that haven't heard the story before, we need to start at the level of formation in explaining why there's some bad theology out there. I really believe that. And I come from a background of Southern Baptists that were waiting for the rapture to happen at any moment. I think that we need to talk about the popular eschatology that's out there. If hope is what we are trying to promote, we need to have an idea of what our goal and our end point is. And how can more religion help rather than hurt? I think that some mainline churches don't really talk about eschatology. I wish they did. I think that the churches that are a little bit further along tend to focus on external relationships rather than relationships with other Christian groups. And right now, educating Christian Zionists would be one of my goals. So I'm curious also, because I was very interested to hear you use Paul so much. And I'm wondering what theologians or what aspect of the new discussion about Paul are you drawing on for me to take back to the seminary?
Yeah. It's a big question. You should get the book. I mean, I think the new discussion on Paul is very important, and sort of the dialogue between E.T. Wright and Dominic Crossan is useful and important. But I think we have to have an entirely new discussion on Paul. I mean, I identify with him very strongly, and people who know, who have the disadvantage of knowing more systematic theology than I do sometimes disagree with me about it. But I really, and you should read, have you seen Crossan and Borg's new book on Paul? Okay. They're into some interesting stuff. And for one thing, they're saying, listen, if you're going to read Paul, you have to read Paul and not, Timothy and, the other, pseudo-Paul books, because that's not the real Paul. I see him as a Jew who saw where Jesus was going, which was to take Judaism where it needed to go, and whose heart was broken when that didn't happen. And so I guess I identify with him really strongly. That's sort of the heart of how I see Paul. I see Paul as someone who understood clearly what the kingdom was all about, and it was about small communities working at the grassroots to love the way Jesus was talking about love. I don't think it's real complicated, really. So I'm down with Paul. What? Neil Elliott, Richard Horsley, Norman Gottswald. They understand what was really, I think, they speak to me very, very clearly. Marcus Borg. Yeah. And Neil was very good. Yeah.